Okay. Welcome back to shop today. Last 2 days we've been working on making rubber molds for my spin casting machine. And this is white metal. I know a lot of you guys out there consider it really bad stuff, but you know, your automobiles today have a lot of die casting, and that's what that is. It's die casting metal. It's one notch below aluminum, really. And it's very strong, and it doesn't melt. It's 900 degrees. How's that going to melt on any steam locomotive? So I use it a lot for details. You paint it, it doesn't deteriorate or anything. You can paint it, you can do anything with it. You can solder it, but you have to have special solder for it. But you can machine it, you can do whatever. But I do a lot of stuff with it, and this is a 12-inch rubber mold, 12 inches in diameter, and this is one for, if you can see it there, this is for the reefer hardware, which I plan on bringing back out again for sale very soon. I got to make a couple of new models. I lost the original master, so I tried to use someone lent me a set of my old stuff, but it double shrinkage, so I'm going to have Jay make me up some new models, and we'll put them in the mold, and we'll be in good shape. So anyhow, yesterday I made a mold for the this is the masters, and you recognize that as the switch. Here's the inside, and then on either side here is going to be you can put pipes from it either side, and of course the switch is down below here. Can't show you the inside, proprietary information. You want to buy one, you can take it apart and look at it. I don't know the price yet, but they're going to be between 50 and 100. So that's a fairly good range. Now I made the mold yesterday, and it came out pretty good. And here's the mold. Here, and I cut the gates on this side, but I didn't cut them on this side yet. Sometimes you do need them and sometimes you don't. The only way you're going to find out is if you cast it and find out that way. And I put a couple of these Timken Caps that I had made up years ago. Now, we'll talk about these caps, and hopefully the person who sells these, there's several people selling these caps. They're really copies, and they're copies of Tom Doninio's ABS plastic ones that he made and sold. He let me sell them under a license, and then people got a hold of him and said, hey, Tom Doninio is not around anymore, which he is. He's right down here in South Jersey. Oh, we're going to copy him. So there's a lot of that goes on in the hobby, and I've been accused of it, but you know what? Everybody does it, but if you want to take the time to copy it, go right ahead. So now, today, I'm going to light up the furnace here in a couple of minutes, and it runs off of gas. You have a vent, and you have what's called the part load. This thing right here is the part load control, and what that does, it regulates the temperature for the metal. Now, you get, when it gets molten or whatever, you ladle it out, you know, and oh, look at this. Where the heck did that come from? You ladle it out, and you pour it in here as this is spinning. And you open the lid. You'll place the mold inside. There's a platen, and these little hooks here, these little things, catch on 4 things in the side there. And as it's spinning, when you release this, it's air operated. When you release this, there's air checks. It opens up a valve and it starts the spinning. And then you just take your ladle of metal, you scoop some out and pour it right in there. And as it's spinning, centrifugal force throws it out. It's like cheap die casting. Works good. There are a lot of people use it. A lot of different things. There's a company called Tech or something like that. And I've seen them make molds this thick. You need a crane to pick the mold up because the mold frames are steel plus all the weight. So I'm going to light the furnace off now. It takes about a couple of hours for that to really get up to temperature for up to speed for casting. And in the meantime, I'm going to go flash back to tomorrow, back to tomorrow. How is it? Back to the future? Anyway, back to tomorrow, and show you how I made the rubber mold. I'm going to go, I can't show everything, but I'll do what I can. I'm working on getting another camera so I can make this life easier. I have cameras on all the things I'm doing so I can in-cut those into my videos. But for now, you have to persevere and use your imagination. Use your imagination. So we'll see you in a little while after we get the mold all cut and made, and then we're going to do some casting. All right, I went and got some lacquer thinner and paper towel, and we're going to carefully, oh, got a lot on there, carefully clean the rubber in the center, just the center, so it sticks to the other part. You got to be careful. And I'm going to have to use a little special technique here. Get some of it on the edge there of the lacquer thinner. Well, it's metal. It won't really stick to it. It's flat too. It's flat, so it'll do that. That little clicking here is the press over there kicking off and on. Okay, so that's done. Now I got to carefully put this back in, and I've already dusted that part, so I don't have to dust this part. And you got to line it up. And you push it down. And you don't dust that, because it's got to stick to this side. So you do this side. Kind of line it up. And you start pushing it down. You know, guys don't make their molds the right size. They're a little bit oversized, and it causes issues. Causes big issues because it don't go down right. It makes a lump. I gotta cut that off. This is the top. I'm going to just dust this too, because now the top, if you notice, the top, I didn't show you the bottom, but the bottom, it's got a lip on it. It's half that. The bottom just has to go in 1/4 inch, and that's where you start. This one has to be thicker because you can't put the mold on there, because a regular plate on there, because I got to find out where my mark is. Here it is. You got to make sure that this goes in there. Okay. Yeah, that's got to get started, because if that thing gets cocked in there, forget it. It's just going to go down. I found out that I used to try to make them in a tight fit, so what I've done now is made it 20, 30 thousandths bigger, so the rubber shoots up around the top, on the sides and all, but we just trim it off. Okay, so now we got to make sure that this thickness here is going to pass through the mold, so through the platen. So let's lower this down and make sure. you got to be careful not to tilt it. You got to keep it flat like a cake in the oven. And you slide it in. And there's rings in here to center it up. That's pretty close to right. Let me see. Okay, now I got this tight. Jack it up by hand until you get contact with the top. I see it going in, so it's going in nice. And I take my handle here, jack it up the rest of the way. Okay, see now? It's down now. Yeah, you say, geez, oh man, it gotta be that hard? Yes, it does. So the pressure and the heat, make it flow. All right, I went and got some lacquer thinner and paper towel. And we're going to carefully, I've got a lot on there, carefully clean the rubber in the center, just the center, so it sticks to the other part. You got to be careful. And I'm going to have to use a little special technique here. Get some of it on the edge there of the lacquer thinner. Well, it's metal. It won't really stick to it. It's flat too. It's flat, so it'll do that. That little click in here is the press over there kicking off and on. Okay, so that's done. Now I got to carefully put this back in, and I've already dusted that part, so I don't have to dust this part. And you got to line it up. And you push it down. And you don't dust that, because it's got to stick to this side. So you do this side. Kind of line it up. And you start pushing it down. You know, guys don't make their molds the right size. They're a little bit oversized, and it causes issues. Causes big issues because it don't go down right. It makes a lump. I gotta cut that off. Get rid of this lumps in here, see? All right, an hour has gone by, and now we're going to take the mold out. Got to use gloves now, boy. 360 degrees. All right, I want to lower it down, and now we're going to have fun getting it apart. It's been a few minutes now. It's cooled down a little bit. I started worrying that if that thing really shrinks up. So I'm getting the bottom off at least. Okay, there's the one part. Let's see if we can get this part off. I gotta put that in a lathe and take another 20 thousandths off it later on. There, that can go in there like that. Go in there just like that. Cast it just like that. It'll work. And there we are. That'll work. And when the mold goes together, down on the side, you gotta come up with the right place. Goes like this. And what we do is we just take the knife, find a convenient spot, which is like right here, and go down, put a V there, like a telltale or whatever you want to call it, and then we, trim the mold around any of the excess that went over up the side of the mold. Clean it up inside a little bit. Yeah, see, it probably should have been a thicker mold, but I think I'll be able to get parts out of it. Clean this up a little bit. Any little imperfections in it. And basically, you got to try it. It's the only thing you can do. You got to try it. What are we going to do? Make another mold? Got the mold right here. That's good. This will go on top. Okay. I'll gate that. I got to gate it. I'm not going to, well, I'll do a couple of gates just to show you how they work. I'm going to do it. You get the knife on an angle. You go back into where the center is. And then you do the same thing on this side. I will see. Tomorrow is the casting day. Fire up the furnace and see what happens.